notice that the passion in your relationship is slowly fading away. Maybe things are okay, but just not as the same, not this aliveness and passion. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the 4 secrets to keep the spark alive in long-term relationship. And you want to know about this, whether you are in a long-term relationship or not, because you want to know about this even before you meet the one, so that you know how to keep the spark alive. I'm Elisa Caro, a sex and relationship expert, and it's my soul mission, my job, my purpose to help women having orgasmic sex life and fulfilling relationship. Please give a thumb up to the video, it really supports me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about conscious relating and sexuality. It's quite normal to feel a bit bored in sexuality in long-term relationship if you don't prioritize work on it. So most of us have not been trained or educated in how to do it. So I see so many couples struggling with it, and it's very normal due to the lack of information. In this video, you're going to learn what you can do in order to keep the spark alive. With my 4 secrets to keep passion alive in long-term relationship. Number 1, bring variety. Most of my clients, when they're relating for a few years, they tend to make love in the same way. Whatever it is, they have the same few positions that they like, they go through a similar routine, maybe they kiss, maybe they do oral sex, or maybe oral sex is not part of their routine, or maybe they tend to make love in the same place of their house, so there is repetition. And guess what? This is practically one of the number 1 intimacy killer. You want to bring variety. And how can you do that? Try new things. So you can make love in different locations. You can make love in the car, in nature. I love making love in the forest. Even in different places of the house. Maybe in the bathtub, maybe on the kitchen bench, on the table, sofa, bedroom. Well, probably you already do that one. Then you want to bring variety as your way of making love. So there are different ways in which you can make love. Let me give you some examples. Most people tend to have a similar way to make love, such as very sweet, a lot of kissing, very passionate, dominant submission. So you find your own type, your own way, and you tend to repeat it. It's actually very good to bring variety on that too, because you can make love more passionate, and then you can make love in a more sweet way. And then you can play with dominant submission role and even flipping them over. Why they always have to be in one direction? You can also bring variety through role plays. Fantasies are great when they're welcome in the play with your partner or partners. So you want to make sure that if you have a fantasy, you don't just disconnect and think about it and your partner's not even aware of it and your mind is somewhere else. But you can role play that with them. You can role play that they are a teacher, the sexy teacher. Maybe you have a fantasy of sleeping with a teacher, or maybe you always wanted to pay for a prostitute and you haven't done that, and so you can play that out. Whatever it is, of course you need to discuss and you both need to agree, but I love role plays. And me and my partner actually do it quite often, you know. I mean, not every week or something, but it's such a nice thing to bring in. Those are just some examples of the ways in which you can bring variety in your sex life. Let's go on number 2. Secret number 2 is about emotional connection. It's so important to actually feel connected with one another. It's like a magnet. When you feel harmony, emotional intimacy, you're naturally drawn to one another. So you want to learn how to have great conversation, talk about vulnerability and needs, and really feel connected with one another. And if you want some guidance on this one, because I know it's a huge topic, then have a look at my Mindful Connection online course. It's an epic online course that I did with my partner, which is a clinical psychologist. And we're going to take you step by step what you can do in order to bring back this connection, feeling close, and this sense of togetherness. You can find the link below to the online workshop. Tip number 3. Meaningful sex. In our society, the tendency is to treat sex in a more superficial way. What happens is that we learn about sex in pornography often, and the view that we get from the media is in a very one-dimensional way. We actually see that everything is about how we look, how we perform, how our body look like, how strong our erection, how long we last, how many orgasms we had, and we're really missing the point. Having meaningful sex means bringing back the sacredness of it. You're not just making love with the body, you're making love with the essence of the person in front of you, with their soul, with their spirit, with their heart, with their energy body. If you want to learn more in details, how you can bring some depth in your way of making love, I have a video on 3 tips that you can start to apply right now to have a more meaningful sex. I'm going to put the link below, and you can also see it up there. So we need to dive deep and understanding that making love is so much beyond that just 2 genitals meeting or 2 physical body meeting. I love Tantra. I absolutely adore this ancient philosophy. And in Tantra, they talk about making love with the 5 bodies. Which one are they? The first one is the physical one. The second one is the emotional body. The third one is the mental body. So is your mind being present in the moment as you're doing it. The fourth one is the energy body. So you're also utilizing your energy as you make love to feel pleasure and to connect with one another or yourself, both. And the fifth one is the spiritual body, or also called casual body, or soul, or spirit, or essence, whatever resonates more with you. So when we connect with ourselves or with someone else, we want to connect on all those 5 levels. And if you want 3 tips to how to start to bring this depth in your lovemaking, check out this video. The link is just there, or I'm going to also put it down below. And it's going to give you some exercise and practices that you can do now to bring more depth in your lovemaking or your solo play. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give a thumb up and subscribe to the channel in order to be updated in all the videos that I'm releasing about conscious sexuality and relating. The last tip, the 4th one, is going to be polarity. What is that, Elisa? Well, you might not be comfortable with this word if you have been to some tantric workshop or you have been reading some books or blogs. You might be more familiar with it. Polarity is the concept that we feel attracted to one another like 2 magnets, right? So there are 2 poles, the plus and the minus, and they attract each other. When they stay too long close by, they become neutral. And there's not this attraction anymore, not like magnet anymore. So we need to polarize ourselves so that we can keep this strong connection and attraction to one another. And there are a few ways that you can do in order to build this polarity. Let me give you some example. For instance, following your hobbies. What makes you happy? What fills you with joy and radiance? What do you love? Just go and do it on your own. Just fill yourself up with what makes you feeling full and whole. For instance, for me, it's going to dance, it's going into nature, it's going on holidays, and I would do this on my own sometimes. And that's great because I'm charging myself up with this feminine and radiant essence. And my partner, might like things such as fishing or hang out with the boys or go on a hunting weekend. And so it's important that you polarize yourself with just what you love. So there is not right or wrong thing, like I could go hunting, whatever you like. That's gonna polarize and charge you up. Another things that you can do is having time apart. It's lovely to do everything together, but after a while, you're gonna end up in companionship. I'm not gonna tell you how many clients I have that they're telling me, we're like best friends, but somehow sex is not there. Guess why? Best friend. Of course, you wanna be friends with one another and connecting, but you also need to spend some time apart and do things separately so that you can charge these two poles up. And that might look as having evenings separate, or maybe you're gonna have a holiday. I take it to an extreme. I probably travel 2-3 months of the year on my own, just doing my thing, go to my workshops, visiting my family, or just go see your friends. You don't have to be so extreme, but that's great to just take some space. So whatever you can do, might be an evening, an afternoon, a weekend, 1 week holiday, 2 months, like me, whatever suits your needs. Something else that you can do to keep building this polarity is stay flirtatious with your partner. Somehow we lose that, right? I love flirting with my partner all day long. Like we do that often. We might, like do stuff like when the other one is changing, or just give them give each other compliments. Oh, you look great. Look how hot you are. Or sometimes, when the other one is changing clothes, we might just stay there and just look and perving on each other. And that just feels good. It feels good to keep that because we are sexual beings. And if we forget about it, and then we want to remember just out of the blue when we make love, that doesn't work. So keep feeding that sexual tension as much as you can. So spending time apart could also look like sleeping in separate rooms. Me and Richard do not actually sleep in the same room most nights. And this is because throughout the night, we keep exchanging energy. So we have 2 separate rooms in which we can have some privacy just for doing our own thing and just also sleeping separate. And don't get me wrong, we love to sleep together, but it's just good to have this separateness so that we can keep the passion alive. And that might seem weird, but tell me one couple that you know that are living a fulfilling sex and passionate life, that have been together for years and they're actually all the time together, all the time like best friend, never flirt and never do all of the things that I mentioned. I bet you can find it. So in this video, we saw 4 areas in which you can work to keep the spark alive in your relationship. And trust me, I see couples over and over again going from a sexless marriage or relationship to have actually so much passion and aliveness in their relationship. And it's an ongoing work, like it's a lifelong journey. You need to keep feeding those areas, otherwise sex will fade away. It might stay there for 2 years, maybe 3, maybe 6 months, but after 4, 5, 6 years, if you don't work on it, the passion is just not gonna stay. So start now to work on these 4 areas. Bring variety, emotional connection, meaningful sex, and polarity, so that you can live the passionate relationship that you always wanted. If you want to have some support on connecting emotionally with your partner, check the link below for Mindful Connection. It's an epic online course. Or maybe you want to have a look at the video here and here. I look forward to share more about conscious relating and sexuality with you.